Welcome everybody here, Brady from BGWX back here for another breakdown. I know it's been a minute, but if it's been a minute, it means the weather is quiet and I try not to blow smoke and try to make things out of nothing, or at least I try to, if there's nothing to talk about. And with that being said, there's a lot to talk about, so let's get going here. And we'll do a quick breakdown here, just to let you know what's going on. There's a moderate risk for severe weather in place here upcoming tomorrow here, Friday. And then there is also a moderate risk in place for Saturday. And there's also a 15% risk in place for the East Coast, and from Florida to the Northeast for Sunday, excuse me. So there's busy times upcoming here. And if we slide here to the day 2 outlook, notice tornadoes. Yes, the potential for strong tornadoes exists, but notice it's a wind-driven moderate risk, meaning the risk for wind is why there's red on your screen from the Storm Prediction Center, and they are definitely listing the potential for strong tornadoes as well. Strong hail, large hail as well, strong hail, large hail as well, and strong wind, damaging wind, life-threatening wind is the reason for that. And then on Saturday, the potential, it's obviously you can see it's probabilistic right there. Boy, not my finest English right there, but as you can see, moderate risk on a day 3 are oftentimes associated with some of the bigger severe outbreaks that we typically see. So these are what the SPC, our friends in Norman, are suggesting, and so that is what's on tap upcoming here. And I would say on Saturday there is strong tornado potential as well. So let's take a look here at what's driving. So let's do a quick breakdown and maybe a live stream upcoming. We'll see later tonight. Keep an eye on that. So we'll slide here to our good old Euro AI, and we'll take a look at 500 millibar vort. So what's going on? So we did have a little snow band tonight breakout as well for our snow lovers. Dropped about even up to 1 to 3 inches, maybe half inch to an inch, depending on where you live. But even some higher totals did measure an inch on my adventure to try and peep some of that out. But as you can see, this is what's going on. Notice for the U.S., we have a strong low pressure system. I don't know why I said that with a New York accent, but that's fine. Strong low pressure system developing. Take a look at 500 here. And this is why it's a multi-day event, is because there's part 1 and then part 2 that comes in too. In this drive, if we slide back to North America, you'll notice, take a look at this easterly ridging in place, the deep western trough. That is always a recipe here. If we slide back to 500, sorry if the mic sounded like it was muffled a little bit there for a second, but where we want here, we'll slide to black. So with the easterly ridge in place, it's going to allow, whoa, that is a thick marker. No, don't need that. And we have this strong trough in place here in this moisture right from the Gulf of Mexico. It's a perfect recipe here to get severe weather. No, perfect, whatever. The easterly ridging in place, we're driving this warm, moist air up off from the Gulf of Mexico and strong troughing over the western U.S. to drive strong low pressure and obviously strong upper level dynamics. And take a look, upper air, wind, 500 millibar. Take a look at our 500 millibar jet here, and you can very much notice, right, strong trough developing over the central U.S., and then this ends up extending over to the eastern U.S. as well, and especially into the deep south. And if we slide here to the United States, which we will do here, take a look. We'll go with 9. We'll go to the GFS so we can get our 850 jet and take a look here at low-level jet. So multi-day outbreak. There's Friday, and especially Friday night, I think there will be a strong severe weather risk as well. And then take a look at Saturdays, right? So it comes in 2 parts basically, and this extends to Sunday as well, then across the East Coast as well. Take a look. That's our low-level jet. I mean, we're ripping, a 65 to 80 knot low-level jet potentially. And then on Saturday, we're, a 70 to 80 plus knot low-level jet. Very, very strong winds And if you take a look at severe weather, Cape is whatever, can be a little tricky sometimes with the global models, but you can see it's going to be evident. Take a look all the way where this is convective available potential energy, meaning, the juice, the instability for thunderstorms, moisture, an important factor as well, which we'll look at in a second, but instability, along we look at these upper level winds like we just did, but instability is another important factor. And you can see that will be present, obviously, across the Dixie Alley, across, from the Gulf as from that moisture drawing up from the Gulf, right? And you can see that, fuel for thunderstorms will extend, and then more wind driven, but still will be possible to the East Coast on Sunday. So that's kind of just a general idea of what's on tap, and we'll be able to break all of this down a little bit more in depth, ideally tonight. But we want to set the general breakdown and really, get away from there's a lot of, hype or whatever you want to call it, or just, there's a lot of weird information. So let's just set the record straight on what to expect. Going forward here, as we'll slide to moisture, just to give you an idea. So we'll go to surface and we'll go to moisture, and we'll go to our dew points. And whoa, those are kind of hard to see, aren't they? Hard to get an idea of what's that. It's good enough. As you can see, it just points the picture. There's our strong surface cyclone. You can see there, element the 2 meter dew points at the surface, and you can see that clash there, the front moving through, and that moisture getting drawn up from the Gulf of Mexico, as you can see, and that is gonna be the fuel. As well, the moisture is super important to allow the fuel for potential thunderstorms to be severe, and also potential tornadoes to occur. And take a look, strong surface cyclone there. I mean, maybe getting into the 970s potentially, even maybe, kind of potentially flirt into the 960s potentially. And there could be strong snowstorm as well for people on the northwest quadrant of that storm as well. And the severe weather threat, though, really, again, it's that idea that you have that. Let me go slide back to the upper air wind, and we'll go to 850 millibar wind speeds, show you what we're talking about. For example, like on Saturday, take a look here. It's really a solid setup here to be able to get high impact severe weather. Because take a look where, like we talked about this, moisture and the instability coming off the Gulf of Mexico, along with the timing of the trough ejection here that we showed at 500 millibars, right? This strong surface low still all the way back out here. You take a look at your 850 low, obviously, but you can see your strong matched with where your surface low is. And then we have this strong instability, right? Moving northward right across, we showed our easterly ridge, and so that instability with that combination of where the strongest winds are associated with the low level jet, that is where we'll be looking at for the highest impact severe weather, because that is where potentially, I can confidently say, unlike last time where it was a little bit more conditional, I think that's not quite the case. I think the mode of severe weather is conditional still a little bit at this point, meaning exactly whether or not we have completely discrete cells or semi-discrete, or more linear, messier mode potentially, which is often the case in the Dixie Alley. Some of those details are still to be determined, and all that means for those confused is just what exactly the specifics of those storms will be for in the South. So that's all that means. But I can pretty confidently say that strong tornadoes will be a threat, not just for Saturday, even though I think the wind threat is stronger. I think, for Friday, I think the tornado threat on Saturday may be the biggest takeaway as of right now, and that's what a lot of people are going to. But again, don't take your eyes off. We slide back here, and again, I think there could be a strong tornado. But look at our low level jet. Take a look here. I mean, it's a 79 knot, 80 knot. And we'll go to the NAM 12K and get a picture. A little bit different timing. Well, not quite as strong with the low level jet and the timing, but again, hard. You can't fully trust the name like we talked about. Let's get the euro going as well. See, euro is a kind of an in between a little bit, but a 60. GFS I guess is a little bit stronger with a low level jet. Oh, that's 925 actually. That's what I was looking at. And that's why the NAM was a little bit lower. So there's euro kind of on just slightly lower, but again, 75 knot low level jet, GFS with about 80 knot low level jet, right? Indicative of potential severe weather being very impactful in the form of wind, likely Friday and Friday night, along with strong tornado potential as well. But I don't think that was, the most severe threat potentially out of this. Not saying a strong tornado could be the takeaway from that night, but the strong wind threat, I mean, I don't want to say like derecho or something because there's specifications needed, but this could be a pretty high impact severe weather event on Friday into Friday night. And then Saturday is where we start looking at that strong. I mean, look at that. Euro even gets up to a 90 knot low level jet almost. Very, very strong. So there's going to be high impact severe weather potential. It's been a lot of analogs. I don't care about the past. I care about what's going to happen right now with the severe weather, and it's just me trying to get away from all the other stuff because that's how I have to do it. A lot of other people I have to fall into my niche on how I want to forecast severe weather. I got to try to make a clear way of operations for how we're going to do things here upcoming. And you know what? It may not get the most clicks, and that's okay, but we're going to try to do things, proper here for severe weather forecasting. Because I think a lot of, I'm starting to realize here, more specifically this year, there's a lot of, circulation of information that goes on with severe weather on, especially Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, especially. And we want to get away from that and just tell you what I think is going to happen. And what we're looking at is several day severe weather threat on tap, especially Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I think details still TBD, but I think again it'd be a strong wind threat, especially on Sunday is what I'd be looking at right now, with maybe some tornado potential as well, but tornado potential I think is too early to talk about. I don't think those details are too clear quite yet for Sunday, and even Saturday still, a lot of those details are TBD, and we'll discuss more details later tonight. So I appreciate everybody tuning in. Just a little quick update on what to expect, and I appreciate you all support. If you don't mind liking the video, it'd be greatly appreciated, helping to continue to expand the channel. Appreciate y'all. Peace.